IP address definition. An IP address is a unique address that identifies a device on the internet or a local network. IP address stands for Internet Protocol, which is the set of rules governing the format of data sent via the internet or local network. In essence, IP addresses are the identifiers that allows information to be sent between devices on a network. They contain local information and make devices accessible for communication. The internet needs a way to differentiate between different computers, routers, and websites. IP addresses provides a way of doing so and form an essential part of how the internet works. An IP address is a string of a number separated by periods. IP addresses are expressed as a set of four numbers. An example address might be 192.158.1.38. Each number in the set can range from 0 to 255. So the full IP addressing range goes from 0.0.0 to 255.255.255. The IP address is a 32-bit number that uniquely identifies a network interface on a machine. An IP address is typically written in decimal digits, formatted as four 8-bit fill separated by periods. Each 8-bit fills represented a byte of the IP address. This form of representing the bytes of an IP address is often referred to as the dotted decimal format. The bytes of the IP address are further classified into two parts, the network part and the host part. In the picture, it will show as the component parts of the typical IP address. 129.144.50.56 network part. This part specifies the unique number assigned to your network. It also identifies the class of network assigned. The network part takes up 2 bytes of an IP address. This host part. This is the part of the IP address that you assign to each host. It uniquely identifies this machine on your network. Note that for each host on your network, the network part of the IP address will be the same, but the host part must be different. We'll talk about a little bit subnet number. Local networks with a large numbers of hosts are sometimes divided into subnets. If you choose to divide your network into subnets, you need to assign a subnet number for the subnet. You can maximize the efficiency of the IP address space by using some of the bits from the host number part of the IP address as a network identifier. When used as a network identifier, the specified part of the address becomes the subnet number. You can create a number by using a net mask, which is the bit mask that selected network and the subnet parts of the IP address. How are IP addresses generated? IP addresses are generated automatically using an integrated algorithm by the Internet of Assigned Numbers Authority, IANA. IANA then allocates IP addresses blocks to regional Internet registries, RIRs, who in turn geographically distribute these blocks to Internet Service Providers, ISPs, to generate individual IP addresses for their customers. ISPs typically use a technique called Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, DHCP. DHCP allows device to have an IP address assigned automatically when they connect to a network. IP addresses are not random. They are mathematically produced and allocated by the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority, INA, a division of the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, ICANN. ICANN is a non-profit organization that was established in the United States in 1998 to help maintain the security of the Internet and allow it to be usable by all. Each time anyone registers a domain on the internet, they go through a domain name registrar who pays a small fee to ICANN to register the domain. The use of IP address typically happens behind the scene. The process works like this. Your device indirectly connect to the internet by connecting at first to a network connected to the internet, which then grants your device access to the internet. When you are at home, that network will probably be your internet service provider. At work, it will be your company network. Your IP address is assigned to your device by your ISP. Your internet activities goes through the ISP and then routed back to you using your IP address. Since they are giving you access to the internet, it is their role to assign IP address to your device. However, your IP address can change. For example, turning your modem on or off, router on or off, can change it, or you can contact your ISP, they can change it for you. When you are out and about, for example, traveling, and you take your device with you. Your home IP address doesn't come with you. This is because you will be using another network, Wi-Fi at hotel, airport, and coffee shop, etc. To access the internet and will be using a different and temporary IP addresses assigned to you by the ISP of the hotel, airport, or coffee shop. Key takeaways. An Internet Protocol IP address allows computers to send and receive information. An IP address allows information to be sent and received by the correct parties, which means it can also be used to track down a user's physical location in some instances. IP addresses are generated through a hierarchical system involving the IANA, RIRs, and ISPs. Common IP security include hijacking, blacklisting, and DDoS attacks. Users can protect their IP addresses by using firewalls, keeping software updated, using VPNs, and enabling two-factor authentication. Different types of IP addresses include public and private, with public IP address being either dynamic or static. IP addresses, security, and threats. IP address security threats refer to a risks and vulnerabilities associated with the security of IP addresses. Security threats can result in cybercriminal gaining unauthorized access to device, launching attacks, or compromising a network's integrity. These three common IP address security threats include hijacking, blacklisting, and distributed denial of services (DDoS) attacks. Hijacking. IP address hijacking refers to attackers gaining control over IP addresses, allowing them to intercept and manipulate network traffic. These this can lead to unauthorized access, data breaches, or disruption of services. Implementing secure protocols, strong authentication mechanisms, and regular monitoring of IP address assignments can help mitigate risk associated with the IP address hijacking. Blacklisting. IP address can be blacklisted if they are associated with the malicious activity, such as spamming, malware distribution, or hacking attempts. If an IP address is blacklisted, it can result in restricted access to certain services, reduced email deliverability, or disruption to a network. To guard against blacklisting, users should consider implementing security measures such as periodically updating passwords, avoiding public Wi-Fi hotspots, and using antivirus or anti-malware software to protect devices. DDoS attacks. In a DDoS attack, multiple compromised devices flood a target IP address or network with an overwhelming amount of traffic, rendering it inaccessible to legitimate users. DDoS attack can disrupt online services or potentially cause a network to crash. Implementing robust network infrastructure, traffic filtering mechanisms, and DDoS mitigation solution can help protect against IP address based attacks.